Welcome to another story time. Today we're going to be reading The Angry Kite. I actually wrote The Angry Kite a few years ago and my husband did the illustrations. I hope you enjoy. There was once a small mouse named Ezekiel Tinklepaw. He lived with his mother and father in a hole at the base of an ancient oak tree. The home had been in the family for several generations, and though the interior was dated, the location was desirable and the Tinklepaw family had always been happy living there. Ezekiel was about to have his 6th birthday. His mother and father had told him that this meant he would be able to start exploring the world outside of their home without supervision. Ezekiel was filled with excitement and wonder. He would be independent and able to make his own choices. The Tinklepaw's oak tree home was situated in a forest that grew near the shores of the Great Lake. Ezekiel's favorite thing in the world was to spend the day at the beach. He loved running along the shore barefoot and the way the waves lapped at his toes. He loved the smell of the air and the warmth of the sun. Ezekiel thought the only thing that would be better than having such adventures would be having them with a friend. On the morning of his birthday, Ezekiel's mother woke him early. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, he asked, "Mother, what could be so important that you would wake me early on my special day?" "Get out of bed, Ezekiel," his mother said. "There is a special surprise for you outside." Ezekiel did as he was told, and when he got to the backyard, he could hardly believe what he saw. Lying against the fence post was the most beautiful kite that had ever been created. Ezekiel was so excited. When he ran to admire the kite more closely, he could see that the tail was the loveliest part of all. He thought the long blue tail would look wonderful soaring through the sky. Ezekiel hugged his mother and father. "Oh, I love him," he said. "He will be my best friend. We will go on so many amazing adventures together." "The first thing we'll do is go to the lake shore," Ezekiel told the kite. "You will love it." Upon arriving at the lake shore, Ezekiel tenderly unwound the kite string and ran quickly down the sandy beach, sending the kite flying into the air behind him. He was delighted at the way the kite soared after him. He held tight and tugged the kite string, leading him to and fro. It felt so good to have a friend. As the sun began to set, Ezekiel reeled in the string, tucked the kite under his arm, and headed home. "That was the best day I have ever had. I cannot wait until tomorrow." Every day, Ezekiel gathered the kite from his bedside, and together they would run outside for another adventure. Though the kite enjoyed their days together, he was sick of never being given a say in where he would go. Ezekiel got to make all of the decisions. The kite was tired of going to the pine forest and sick of the sun at the beach. There was no reason, the kite thought, why he shouldn't be able to make his own decisions. And there was no time like the present to make his move towards freedom. That day, Ezekiel noticed his friend seemed reluctant to come along and that he had to pull on the string more than usual. He didn't know what the problem could be or how to solve it. He just hoped it would stop, which is, of course, a very poor way to deal with your feelings. But the kite didn't give up. Not only was he tugging against Ezekiel, he also looked very angry. Ezekiel just couldn't understand why. He always thought they were having so much fun together. Perhaps the kite's demeanor would change when they arrived at the lake shore. The sun was shining brightly, and Ezekiel thought it was a lovely day. But try as he may, the kite's face remained scrunched up in a grimace. The angry kite was waiting for the wind to come up, and when it did, he pulled against Ezekiel's grip as hard as he could, pulling the spool of string from Ezekiel's tiny mouse hands. Ezekiel felt both startled and happy as he felt the kite pull from his grip, but there was nothing he could do to stop him. The kite was just too strong. "No, where are you going?" Ezekiel shouted as he ran down the beach, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Please don't leave me." But it was too late. The angry kite had left. Ezekiel ran and ran until he couldn't run anymore. But the kite was almost to the lighthouse. This was far beyond where Ezekiel was allowed to go, and he knew he would never be able to catch up to him anyway. Ezekiel watched helplessly as his beloved friend, the kite, flew further and further away until he was nothing more than a tiny dot on the horizon. Sadly, Ezekiel trudged home. He had never felt so alone. Though his mother baked him cookies and brought him hot chocolate in bed, Ezekiel cried endlessly. He looked for his friend each day, but he never could find him. Meanwhile, the angry kite was having quite the time. He flew high above the world, free to go anywhere he would like. One day, while flying through the city, the kite caught a glimpse of his reflection in a window. He saw that his face still looked angry. He wondered how that could be, as he thought freedom would bring him happiness. Maybe, he thought, he just needed some fresh air and sunshine. He decided to venture towards the lakeshore, just for old time's sake. He flew to the beach and soared high above the water, towards the sun, and then quickly back down to the sand. He dove and flew, It just didn't feel the same as he used to. It's then that the kite realized something. Being able to make his own decisions on where to go and what to do seemed important, but without someone to share these times with, he still felt awfully angry. The kite decided it was time to find Ezekiel again. He soared in the directions of the forest in search of his friend. Before too long, his tail got caught in a branch and he could not escape. As circumstance would have it, Ezekiel was once again looking for his kite, calling out to him in the forest on the way to the lakeshore, the very place he had last seen his friend. The kite heard the little mouse's voice calling with such sadness that he wanted to cry. He pulled and tugged at his tail, rustling the branches until Ezekiel looked up and spotted his friend tangled above. "Oh my goodness, there you are. I've been looking all over for you," Ezekiel called out to the kite. Ezekiel scurried up the tree to help, gently unraveling the kite from the branches, and before long they were both back on solid ground together. "I'm so glad you came back. I promised to always be your friend," Ezekiel said. Rather thoughtfully, he added, "I think I finally understand that you only wanted to make decisions about where we go as friends. It's called compromise, and it is important for any successful friendship. Just promise me you'll never leave me alone again." And the angry kite just smiled and flew high into the air, indicating his agreement. The end. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching. We hope to see you again soon. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. Bye-bye for now.